Why, hello! Welcome to Stefonknee's Playtime.
At the age of 52, Stefonknee Wolscht left her wife and 7 children to live as a 6-year-old girl.
Come on in and see what we found.
She enjoys playing with dolls, wearing frilly clothes, and even using a pacifier. Her old life had a lot of stress, and in order to cope, she has regressed to being 6 years old.
I've gone back to being a child. I don't want to be an adult right now, and I just live my life like I couldn't when I was in school.
She believes that living as a little girl is a way of finding peace and happiness in a world that often makes her feel invisible and misunderstood.
I love being 6 years old. I just use it as play therapy, and it helps me cope with depression.
And she's even been adopted by a loving family who accepts her for who she is. Adrian and Serena are a polygamous couple who Stefonknee calls her mommy and daddy. Adrian found her on a fetish website and they hit it off really well. Adrian introduced Stefonknee to his wife Serena and they soon established their unconventional dynamic. Stefonknee further adds, "They are totally comfortable with me being a little girl, and their children and their grandchildren are totally supportive." She actually started out as an 8-year-old until the couple's granddaughter asked her to be the younger sister instead. "A year ago, I was 8 and she was 7, and she said to me, 'I want you to be the little sister.' I said, 'Well, I don't mind going to 6, so I've been 6 ever since." Stefonknee's story is not unique in the world of fetishism. The phenomenon of adult babies has been around for decades, and it involves adults who dress up and act like babies or children. For some, it's a form of fetish. For others, it's just a way of de-stressing. It's called play therapy, and it enables them to escape from the worries of adult life.
So they still do their job during the day, but when they're stressed out, there's nothing wrong with us pulling out a puzzle and doing a puzzle or coloring in a coloring book.
Whatever the reason, it is clear that people like Stefonknee find happiness and fulfillment in this lifestyle. Stefonknee's journey of self-discovery began at the age of 46. Before then, she lived as a man and worked as a mechanic. She got married in 1986 to her ex-wife Maria, and together they had 7 children. Unfortunately, after being together for more than 2 decades, their marriage came to an end. When she was finally ready, Stefonknee told her family that she identified as a 6-year-old girl.
It is very embarrassing to see you walk around like that.
Her ex-wife and children did not accept her new identity, and she was forced to leave her family home. Maria even took out a restraining order that stopped her from seeing their children. Stefonknee lost her job as customers rejected her, and she also had to deal with criticism and judgment from members of her church community. She was left homeless, which led her to hit rock bottom and attempt suicide. Eventually, she ended up in prison after violating her restraining order. Even in solitary confinement, she continued to live as a little girl.
Even in jail, I played. I made it a kingdom, I sang songs in there, and I just would not be an adult.
However, Stefonknee has now overcome many obstacles and says she is finally in a good place.
I was never allowed to be a little girl, so I'm filling that tank of little girl experiences.
What do you hope ultimately all this accomplishes?
Well, eventually I grow up.
But